Welcome to another OCD Recovery Instagram Live. I'm going to be doing a quick questions and answers on here today because I haven't done that for a while. So anything you want to ask, I think I've burnt my nose in the sun. I've gone out without sun cream, and today is one of the first hot days and being indoors for so long. So lovely to go outside and be outdoors at the moment, because quarantine, being inside, is not great thing for everyday life. So I'm glad that is changing a bit now, and things are getting a bit more relaxed. And I've been pretty busy with helping people with OCD during these times, because obviously with coronavirus, people are very concerned about that, and being at home is not great for people's mental health, so they've got a bit anxious about things. So there's been a lot of work to do, especially with the medical side of things, with people in nurses and doctors that have been coming in to see me that have OCD, have been scared of going into work or passing it on to somebody else or getting it themselves worse or something like that. So all different versions of where coronavirus has been causing problems for people. So I've been doing a lot of work with that, so it's been very full on. I certainly haven't had really much of a break during this quarantine. So yeah, I wanted to come on here and just get some Q&A done. I know I was on the Instagram stories, I think yesterday, doing question and answers, but it's easier to do it here in a video format where I can cover things in more detail. So anything you want to ask, shoot it across now and I will cover that. One sec, let's have a look. I'm actually excited to not be outside and socialise, because socialising is a trigger to my OCD. We have to be careful of that. Now, this is a very good point. What's going to happen after this quarantine, and why a lot of people have been coming in the last week, is because as things are relaxing and people are starting to go back out again, what's going to happen is people are starting to have developed almost like, if you forget the quarantine, what an agoraphobia would be is where someone doesn't want to go out and be outside because of their anxiety. So quarantine sort of forced that position. And with OCD, it involves a lot of avoidance. And then you've got avoidance relating to the virus. So avoidance relating to the virus is staying at home, is keeping away. So people have got comfortable with that and they don't want to give that up. Whereas in fact, in reality, that is exactly what we need to do once it's starting to get relaxed, getting out, taking the risk, living our life, which is important. And because we haven't been doing that, that's why it builds up that behaviour where we start to get scared of what's coming, because like anything we avoid, it feels more scary. But we've had to avoid because obviously the regulations. But now we need to be aware that we're going to have to venture out in line with the government guidelines, back out, so that we're facing things, and that's key. That's what a lot of people have got comfortable staying at home, but now is time to make a change with that. So that's very important. Now let's have a look at this next question. What are signs of recovery? We don't even have to worry about signs of recovery. People often ask that as a question. It's like, look, when you're getting better, you're going to start feeling better. So that's good. But don't be so concerned about, am I recovered, am I recovered? Just, you'll feel a bit better, bit by bit. But it's a roller coaster, OCD recovery. It goes up and down. So one minute you'll feel good, next minute you'll feel bad, and so on. So it's very difficult to judge it. So you'll feel moments where you're feeling better, and then you'll just get a general feel for that. But don't be too concerned about that. How is fear and anxiety different from the context of OCD? Well, everyone's got fear and anxiety, any human without an anxiety disorder. With OCD, the difference is that that's a sort of locked-on cycle, that the person's in a chronic state of anxiety, locked on. So that's the difference there. So we don't want to get rid of anxiety in total, because it's designed to keep us alive. And we don't want to get rid of fear. Well, we don't want to get rid of concern. So we're still going to be concerned, okay, I don't want to lose my house, I don't want to get a disease, but sort of overwhelming fear is not helpful. But anxiety, in the sense where if a truck's coming along and suddenly, I'm about to get hit, that's important for saving our life. But locked on chronic anxiety, or chronic anxiety with the absence of an anxiety disorder, is still not obviously helpful. People don't want to be in a state of chronic anxiety forever and ever. So we have to get under that. Chronic anxiety is always because an irrational belief is being held there. Something's not being accepted. Something's not at peace with. Something's not as it is in reality. And that is what's causing that chronic anxiety. When you were first overcoming your OCD, did you initially use medicine to take the edge off? No, I never took meds. I never took Valium. At one time I was prescribed Valium, but I didn't want to take it because I had an OCD thing then about taking meds and having side effects. So I left the bottle there and I never took it. And so I never took benzos and I never took any SSRIs. I never took anything for OCD. Just purchased Self-Help for Your Nerves. Excited to read Claire Weekes' book. Fantastic book. Definitely a pioneer of anxiety and one of the great books. That's why it's on my reading list. Back to that medication question. Look, I think medication is very important for a lot of people. It helps take the edge off and can be an absolute lifesaver for many. Looking back, would it have been better for me to take it? Yes, it would have probably been a good idea for me to take it, to help take the edge off from making it so difficult. But I don't think that, I think everyone's on their own journeys and has their own decisions. Some people choose not to, some people choose to, and that's perfectly fine either way what they decide. I can't go outside because I get so paralysed by my thoughts. I'm afraid of so many things. I'm afraid of going insane, hurting someone, especially when I'm dizzy from meds. Right, it's all to do with loss of control. So it's about learning to get back into life gradually, bit by bit, so that we have to learn about taking risk and uncertainty. You know, in life, anything. We're driving a car, there's risk we might crash, we might hurt someone, might hurt ourselves. It's part of life. Life is risk. We can't live in the absence of it. Even if you're in your house agoraphobic, you still stand a risk of dying of a heart attack. Or you stand a risk of tripping down the stairs and falling on a kid or something in one of your kids and killing them. So there's always a risk anywhere. There can never be absence of risk. There's never. Wherever you are, if you're just lying down in bed, you could have a heart attack. There's always going to be a risk. ERP, exposures, which is just facing fears, which has basically been what humans have done since the beginning of time, is a very important part of recovery because it's showing our brain that things aren't as scary as we think they are. Relationship OCD. No one talks about the obsession of your partner not loving you. No, people, if you're going looking for different parts of our OCD, why have I never seen that? Why have I never seen this? Well, you're not going to see every part all the time. If you look for it, yeah, you will find it, but often it will move into a position that you don't often see that particular fear. It can be anything. You can have relationship OCD about a toaster. You can go, oh, I should have bought the other toaster. Oh, what happens if I don't like this one as much as the other one? You can have anything. Anything you can have OCD about. And relationship OCD. What if my relationship with my mum is not as good as with my daughter? What if I had a better... It can get in anywhere, right? But relationship OCD is a relationship with any human, anything. Not human, it could be a dog or anything. You can have, do I love my dog enough? Do I anything? Yeah? So it doesn't have to just be, do I love them? Do they love me? And vice versa. Anything. With real event OCD, it keeps changing themes. Will reading the books you recommend give me a better understanding of unconditional self-acceptance? Absolutely, that's what those books are about. They're about giving you a good understanding of unconditional self-acceptance. But unconditional self-acceptance takes a while to learn. You're not just going to pick it up instantly. It's something that takes practice. It's something that, took me a long time to really understand it. It took me... To really feel it and understand it probably took me about 16, 17 months to really understand it. But I didn't have it laid out like I do with this page for you guys. I had to do it all myself. A lot of it, I had help initially. I had some good help initially that helped with getting myself set up in lots of the parts. But lots of the parts were missing, and I had to find those and read those and get those all into position, which took a very long time. But with you guys, you've got all that information here, and with the questions and the answers that I do to help you see that. So you can do it a lot quicker than that. But don't be too concerned with time. I've met some great people that I've worked with anxiety that I've helped to get recover. And I say, you worried about how long it's going to take? They say, not worried at all. Maybe it take 5 years, maybe 7 years, but at least I'm on the right track. And I think, well, that's the right attitude. The worst attitude, which is very easy to have, and don't be too hard on yourself if you do, because a lot of people do have it, is the one where you're like, oh my God, I'm just measuring all my internal emotions and feelings, my anxiety, my depression, constantly in my head, 24/7, with like an imaginary thermometer, just taking my temperature 50 times a day. Am I recovered? Am I recovered? Am I feeling better? Am I better than yesterday? Am I recovered? Am I recovered? And this can obviously be increased, this cycle, by things like, what if I'm depressed and then I commit suicide, suicide OCD. So what if I feel depressed and then that could lead to that? That's obviously it's gonna get in there because it wants you to keep gauging. Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling comfortable? Are you safe right now? You know, all of these things are that, but you've got to wear it like an uncomfortable coat. You've got to wear all emotions, feelings, anxiety like an uncomfortable coat, not trying to get rid of it. It's the trying to get rid of it that's the problem. And people do so much of that internally, trying to control and to fight it, and that's the opposite. That's what OCD loves. It loves that, for you to keep fighting and trying to internally control it. That's what it grows on, and that's the kind of habitat it likes to function in. Okay, let's have a look at these next. Your sensory motor OCD is long due, as you touched upon the sleep one. I do have to cover sensory motor OCD, but I've been very busy, and I need to plan that video out of how all the points that I want to cover. I do cover sensory motor OCD a lot on social media, so it does get quite a lot of coverage, but I will do it in another Instagram live for sure. How do I know for sure that I have OCD? You don't know for sure. You will not be able to get absolute certainty. You're trying to work out that you do because you're scared of what if it's real kind of situation, and it's about unconditional self and life acceptance applies, so that even if something was real, it wouldn't make a difference. Even if something was real that we'd done, or something is going to happen to us, whatever, we can be at peace with that too. But that takes practice, and it's not easily done. Okay, so it does take practice to see that. Trying to keep proving to yourself that it's OCD is not you're not going to be able to get absolute certainty. It doesn't exist with anything. Best book you recommend for OCD? Well, my book when I finished it, and I know you guys are telling me to hurry up, and I am working on it, not finishing it. I'm still working on it, so hopefully that one. But in the meantime, one of the best two books I would say that for OCD is Albert Ellis's How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything, by the founder of CBT, Albert Ellis, and then the book Self-Help for Your Nerves by Claire Weeks, Anxiety Pioneer. Great books. But if you look at my reading list, there's so many books in there, and those 5 books that I give in the reading list are such key points, key principles in those for OCD recovery. At what point do I start to come off medication? When you're more balanced and you haven't felt so really down recently for a long period, then consider coming off it. No rush. Is OCD curable, not manageable? OCD recovery means that you can't tell the difference between being whether you had OCD or not, so it doesn't make any difference. Cured, no, you'll always have the gene, but you'll live just fine, like where it's 0.001% affecting your life, so it makes no difference. Wafrid there, mental health perseverance. The more you run after a cure, you make it manageable. You'll make it more tough to get there. Yep, you've got to stop chasing. You've got to accept this is your lot. This is what you've got. Like with Wafrid with dystonia, which is a debilitating neurological disorder, he ain't going to recover from that. That's what he's got. And it's about how he adapts to it. He's running Ironmans and doing all kinds of amazing fitness escapades. And he when he's doing that, he knows that that's his lot. That's what he's got. It ain't going to dystonia. He can recover from OCD, but he's got dystonia. And it's being at peace with that. Constantly with OCD, what we feel often is we've got control over it because we can get better. So it's up to us to get better right now. And that's part of the problem. That is part of the main driver. Especially where responsibility comes in, one of OCD's key components. Could you get obsessive about your recovery? Absolutely. People get obsessed about recovery all the time from every single angle. So it's about having balance in all areas of life. Certainty was to exist, life would be boring. Someone's read my post today. Absolutely, makes a key difference. Wouldn't want life all laid out. Wouldn't be very exciting. Certainty doesn't exist in anything. No, sorry to break it to you, doesn't. Nearly about to say it certainly doesn't. Can OCD make you feel like you're just friends with your partner? It can become a reassurance question, but yes, that's one of the most important parts of our OCD. You're scared of that, you know, so it will make you, even when you're not anxious, it will make you feel like you're disconnected. It feels like just kissing a wall. It feels like when you're having sex with them, you're not even attracted to them. All kinds of things like that. Goes for anything you care about in relation to that other question there. It'll go for your children, it'll go for your job, anything that you care about, it's going for. Reading list is on my Instagram page, but I will repost it. I repost it every week or so up on the Instagram stories. Will my book be available worldwide? Yes, absolutely. Oh, I know this is my pizza just coming to the door now. I can hear it. That's it. I was going to finish these questions, but pizza is a little bit more important. So I'm going to go and get that, and I will come back on and finish these questions in a little bit. All right, guys, see you in a sec.